on the ground, but I'm not looking down. Feel the warmth of the breeze rushing over me. Now it's soaring high, reach and touch the sky. We can
Yeah. Hey there, friends and family, lovers and lurkers, my peasants and groundlings. Welcome to Hanging with Hilari. Come on and let's hang. But first, give a welcome to my co-host, David Maldo.
Never gets old.
Never gets old. And welcome to the studio, my fabulous guest tonight. I've got the fabulous Tate Tullier and his interpreter, Gray Van Pelt. So welcome to Hanging with Hilari. Let's give him a big crowd, a big cheer welcome. Oh my goodness. So first, welcome for all you who are joining us for the very first time. I'm Hilari Scarl, and I'm so happy to be here. I'm a filmmaker in Los Angeles, and I started the show in January with my fabulous co-host, David Maldo, who is the tech guru. He's the one who's doing all the magic behind the scenes. The four of us are actually... We got a cheer for that. We've got the audience cheering. He does the sound effects.
Sometimes when I remember.
When he remembers. The magic of green screen. Actually, the four of us are in four completely different states. So,
Whoa.
So Tate, where are you calling in from tonight?
I am here in Austin, Texas.
That is fabulous. And Gray, where are you tonight?
New York City.
New York City. And David, where are you?
State of confusion. Otherwise known as Florida.
And I'm in beautiful Los Angeles in California. So there you go. Oh, we've got Tate, your wife Sarah is watching, and it's a good thing that she is also in Austin, Texas, because that would be very awkward if she had a different answer.
Hi, Sarah.
So, right.
So Hanging with Hilari, we're here every Wednesday. We just started the show January 2021. And it's basically gives me a chance to hang with my friends who are artists, that we talk about our creative journey, that it's never a linear straight path, that all of us, I'm a weirdo. And so I love people who are off the beaten track.
Absolutely.
Who do their own thing. That is my happy place. And so if you hit the subscribe button and join us every week, we'll notify you when we go live. Because next week, we've got a fabulous actor, writer, Pat Jankowitz. The week after that, we've got our actor, comic, Mark Beltzman, Beltzman. And the week after that, we've got a writer from, he does a lot of studio films. His name is Dalen Musson, DalanMusson. And you'll see in the chat that we've got a Nightbot, which is an automatic, it's David's friend. David set that up. Oh, we've got Shoshannah. Shoshannah, thanks for joining us from Los Angeles. And we've got Els Lundberg from northern Minnesota.
Oh, such good friends of the show. Hi.
So we're so happy to have you all here. Okay, so but we are here talking with Tate as my guest tonight. Tate is an incredible photographer.
Me?
You know, we've known each other now for many years, but we don't get to see each other very often.
Since the old days.
Old days. Remember when we used to be able to hang out and hug each other with no masks? The good old days, the golden era.
Yeah, oh gosh. Last time I saw you was maybe Burning Man, I believe.
We were
right,
both
2017?
We were at Burning Man together. And then I think we'd shared some red carpet.
Oh, it's wonderful.
That was an incredible show. We're gonna have to share our Burning Man experiences, but I want to get to your bio first. I want people to know who I am talking to.
I'm sure about that. I'm not sure.
I think it's only fair. So for those of you who do not know the incredible Tate Tullier, he is a photographer who has photographed celebrities such as Jonathan Van Ness from Queer Eye, Nyle DiMarco, who was the winner of America's Next Top Model and Dancing with the Stars, and also the executive producer of Deaf U on Netflix. And we've got some Nyle stories and photos. If you hang around, you're going to be in for a treat. He has also photographed Shoshannah Stern and her show on Sundance, This Close. And Shoshannah, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
Here. We're going to have you on. Tate's work has been featured in People Magazine, 225 Magazine, Out Magazine, and Ryan Serhant of $1 Million Listing in New York. Whew. That was the condensed version, you guys. But we're going to go into more detail. I know it's always awkward to have like your bio read as you're on stage, but you know, I think you need to take that moment and embrace all you've done, because you really have an incredible journey. So, all right. So you have labeled yourself as an artist who takes photos. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes, I have. So, okay. Honestly, it's no problem. I'm happy to explain it. I grew up as a kid, always so immersed with so many different ideas and so many different creative passions. And my parents were incredibly supportive of that. And it was never really in question anything that I was interested in. They never really questioned it. Basically, my mother was a photographer, and really, you know, she had a lot of photos of, you know, sort of the vintage family albums and things like that. And she had these really great magazines. And so I would ask my mom if I could use her camera, because she'd done a little bit of catalog work. And it was one of the old film cameras, if you can remember film. But I started playing around with her camera, and in borrowing that at 8 years old, I had an 8-year-old cousin. I think at that time I was, I don't know, maybe 11. But my cousin and I had put together 4 different pictures in 4 different looks on film. Remember film, this is expensive. So we're doing this on film. And at that time, I don't know, it was like 2 or 3 weeks to get 4 pictures back. It was a really extensive process. And from that point on, I was hooked. I really fell into the world of photography. And over time, what I found, and still in so many ways, I'm creative in various other sort of avenues, but, you know, there's so many people in our world who become photographers, right? Thanks to the digital age, anyone can pick up a camera and essentially become a photographer. And I think, am I really just a photographer? And that's where I'm a little bit of an elitist about it. And I think, no, I'm an artist. An artist that makes money doing pictures.
I think that is a brilliant introduction to, we need some visuals going here so you guys can start to get an idea of Tate's artistry.
Yeah, so to speak.
Not quote unquote. No. You are truly a true artist. We're going to show 2 quick videos, and then we've got a surprise.
I will accept this story.
A surprise location where we're going to talk to Tate. But first, we're going to hop to the screening room for 2 very short videos. These were filmed by Wayne Betts, who's an incredible cinematographer and producer who is deaf. And we all love Wayne, and you'll get to see his work of Tate at the screening room. And then we'll be back with Tate and Gray in a moment. So enjoy these short clips of Tate's work. All right, David, now we're headed to the photo gallery. And here we are. We made it all back.
Oh,
We decide, oh, and David, I love that you put yourself on a flying saucer there, because his work is truly out of this world. So I think that's
oh, it's beautiful. It's perfect.
I love it
So-
up here.
Tate, we decided to give you your own gallery, your museum gallery showing, like you so well deserve to be here in your gallery.
Oh my.
So it's a retrospective of some of your work, and it's a very small sampling, but I wanted to start off with this photo of Jonathan Van Ness because like, all right, he's one of my favorite people, and I would totally want to hear the story of
He's wonderful.
of how did you get to shoot Jonathan, and what was it like working with him?
Well, really, it was another photographer that I was connected to on Instagram. It was Follow Felipe, and I had shot him before he had reached out and said, "Listen, I'm gonna be shooting Jonathan Van Ness. Would you be interested?" And I was like, "Yes, no question whatsoever." And so he put me in touch with Jonathan Van Ness, and the next thing I knew, we were connected. But he had actually already seen my work on the Tub Time with Tate series, which was incredible, and that was the biggest compliment. I was so incredibly excited. He was thrilled to be involved, and it was very quick. I went to New York for a week. I really was very lucky that he made time for me. And out of the project, there was really no reason for me to add any sort of magic behind the camera, because he was just so incredible. I mean, my series has been going now for 11 years, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful experience with him. Overall, when people are busy and they make time for you, it's just such a huge compliment.
I agree. David, I'm going to have you scoot Tate over just a bit because the signing is almost getting cut off.
Oh, sure.
So I'm just going to, no, you stay there. We're going to scoot you over. Just there. There we go. Yeah. I don't want to miss one sign of what you're doing. It's like talking with your mouth full.
Yeah.
All right. So
Luckily, my spaceship had a button to do just that.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
So, all right. So this was for your personal project, or actually was this for a magazine shoot at all, or Jonathan?
This was one of my own personal projects. And really at some point, I basically started making a living doing this along with my published work. I was doing weddings, families, kids. I was getting a really large client base in Louisiana, where I grew up. And at that time, I was really just starting to feel a little bit kind of creatively stifled. And I wanted to branch out, and I asked myself, what else can I do? What else could I be experiencing and really experimenting with? And I found that tubs, something that I'd loved for so many years, was perfect. And I thought, in the shower, like of all places, I mean, do you even shower?
Well, yes, I do. I showered for you. So I think that's an important thing.
But you would much prefer a tub, of course. And people are preferred to tubs always. So anyway, so tubs from the get-go were really the beginning. And I started sort of asking a few friends locally. I said, hey, would you mind getting in this tub and letting me take photos? And they were like, what? For what? And I was like, what do you mean what for? It's going to look great. I want to take photos of people in a tub. So that was where it really began. And the artistry definitely just turned into something so much more personal and so much more visceral in many ways, and so much closer to the heart. In the beginning, it was really just pretty people in a tub. And now it's become something where it's not just for me, it's for everyone that I photographed, and everyone who has a chance to see it, for naked people in a tub for the sake of making a really incredible photo. And for them, it's a really vulnerable moment. And some people are very used to being in front of a camera, but for me, it's working with more confident people often a challenge, because I, of course, have an idea of what I'm seeing, and we tend to go with the flow. And so therein lies the challenge itself of really kind of breaking in my creative process, whether it's the area, whether it's different lighting setups. And so it really is just all so much fun. Yes.
Well, your tub time with Tate is so incredible, and we're actually going to show your series of and tell more of the tub stories behind it, because I think it's genius. When I saw you starting to do this with so many different people, body types, ages, ethnicities, I love the fact that you just really embrace the person, and that really comes through in your heart. So I love your work. So let's go ahead and let's flip to the next photo that I think one or two people may know. The fabulous, very handsome Nyle DiMarco, who's featured naked in a tub, which I don't think you got any complaints from this photo. Tell me about working with Nyle.
Oh, really? I mean, I have a short story that I don't mind telling about Nyle if you'd like. So ages ago, I think it was 2007, circa 2007, 2008, on Facebook. I had just opened it when I was just a college kid. He was just a college kid, and I had been out of college at that time. But I was looking for a few friends on Facebook, and our deaf community is in fact so big, but yet so small at the same time. And somehow his profile ended up in people that I should know, but I didn't. So in noticing his photo, the first thing that captivated me was his eyes. And I thought, I have to shoot him. I don't know what, I don't know how, I don't know where, but I have to do it. So out of nowhere, I messaged him, and he instantly was like, sure, why not? He was fine with it. So I met him when I was going to DC at the time. He was a Gallaudet student. And from that point on, we really hit it off quickly. And a few years later, he reached out to me again when I was living in New York City. And that was when I had really just started Tub Time with Tate. It was a very new series, and he was very interested in being involved. I mean, all of the photos that I've done now of him are probably 5 times. But one of the things that I really enjoy about these series is that the photos of some of the same people over the years are very incredibly different. You see their bodies really evolve. You see inner workings and inner parts of them really change. There's so much that goes into an individual photo, and it just really mixes up sort of the experience that you end up with on the other side. And Nyle, when he was on America's Next Top Model, was wild because I had watched America's Next Top Model for years and years and years and years. And when I found out that he was going to be on the show, I mean, you can't even imagine how excited I was. Someone deaf on my favorite show, and I knew this person. I fully knew this person. I was like, I know him. So people were, of course, very interested. And I do like to say that I did find him just a little bit, discovered him. I mean, I know that Tyra Banks, gets a lot of credit because, she did actually put him on her show. But honestly, I knew him before he was a Tyra boy. So
I'll totally give you credit. I mean, you were the one who photographed Nyle, and you saw it, you called it. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, we were so excited when he got America's Next Top Model. And just to bring it full circle, that Gray, our interpreter,
I have so much love for him.
Oh, we do. And Gray, who's interpreting for us today, is actually Nyle's personal interpreter. Gray gave me permission to announce that, and it's on his Instagram if you want to check them out, that they work together a lot, so I feel like there's a lot of Nyle love going on here. I think he's incredible. And
there is.
I know. Now I have to get to work with it. That's what I need to cast him in my next project. So, that's how we're going to bring it. And we'll bring you in to film it, and we can bring Gray in to interpret.
Yay!
David is going to do all the green screen in his flying spaceship. So it's just a big love fest. Oh my gosh. You know what? Let's, we've got some more photos to show, David, before, I need to stop getting distracted. So let's show more of, your work here. So we're going to flip through some of these, and these are all on Tate's website if you want to check it out at tatetullier.com. It's also in our Nightbot commands if you want to check that out. And also please check out Tate's Instagram, Tate Photo on his Instagram, where you can contact him and you can see all of his work. And Tate takes commissions and he is available for hire. So Tate, how do people get in contact with, or what do people tend to?
Very available, very available. You know, yeah, like any artist, you are always available, and I am always hustling constantly, as many of us know. Once a hustler, always a hustler. It's the only way to be successful. But yeah, you know, honestly, when you feel that you start taking things for granted, I think what you need to do is get in bed and wake up with a reality check.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Which is why I started the show, because people look at people like yourself who have had these incredible gigs, and you know, you've photographed on, you know, Shoshannah's TV show, you've photographed celebrities, and yet you still have to keep hustling, that it doesn't end. And I think that sometimes a lot of beginning artists thinks it's one and done, like, oh, once I get to this level, then the phone is going to ring, or well, the phone never rings anymore for anyone. It's text or email or social media. But
right, no, for sure. But you know, honestly, I have to absolutely add now, you know, with all of these people that are really notable that I've shot for my work, you have no idea how fortunate I have been to have the chance to meet so many incredible people through this journey. My own journey as an artist has really been punctuated with so many people that are just these phenomenal creatives that just go with the flow and, you know, are interested in what I had to do on a whim. And that has been so amazing for me. Oftentimes, you know, photographers are working for an hour, 2 hours, and you know, they have a lot of communication barriers, sure. But I, as a deaf person working with hearing people, often experience communication barriers because we don't share a language. But there are these really private moments that we share that are not passed over language, but instead over our own sort of physical communication. And after, it's such a moment to really think about and just.
Well, we're going to go into more detail about that, but I thought we're going to continue this conversation in a special place. Now, on Hanging with Hilari, I try to make all of my guests' dreams come true, or at least one dream or one wish come true. So I always ask my guests if they had a place anywhere on earth they could be to have a conversation with me, where would you go? And Tate, I was very happy with your answer that, of course, all right, I'm going to see in the chat if anyone can guess where Tate chose, as far as any place on earth, to have a fabulous chat. I know we're in a little bit of a delay, but oh, you got so much love here on I'm watching on the YouTube chat that people want to work with you. They miss you. They love you. You're getting love from Shamika Dorsey, from Natasha AYMAMI. So your friends and fans are all here. But without much further ado, let's go to Tate's happy place, David.
Oh, those are some great people.
And here we are.
Yay! Ooh, oh, I'll bathe you. Let me bathe you.
It's all backwards. And David is the creeper in the window. David.
Don't mind me creeping in the window. I'm not here.
Yeah. Oh, you're a creeper. You're a creeper, David.
I want to know for people. Oh, Fiji. Somebody's guessed that you wanted to go to Fiji.
Oh, I do want to go to Fiji. I do want to go. Is that an option? I mean, that Fiji is just one big tub waiting for me.
It's true. Well, I mean, we can bring like some bubble bath and we can like foam up Fiji. I want to make sure that Tate is big enough so we can see his signing. David, I don't know if we can zoom in a little bit.
Here are my hands signing.
I think we're good. If anybody wants it bigger, please let us know. We'll try to do some magic. So, but I want to hear more about what you were talking about that you said.
Yeah, I mean, we can ask the audience. How are we looking? Let's make sure. Are these signs clear? Can you see these?
All right, so we were talking about body positivity in Tub Time with Tate, as far as that you can see all different types of people there. Talk about what it has been like to work with people, and are they awkward getting naked in front of you, or what's your message you're trying to send, asking someone to get naked in your bathtub?
Really, the reactions are so incredibly diverse. I would say the majority of my subjects do have, sort of what the situation suggests, and they have an idea of what would be perfect. Me not having a perfect body type certainly shows people, I think, I'm willing to get in the tub, obviously. I think it shows them that it's okay to be a little bit conscious, body conscious, but it also is not a moment really to be ashamed. And there is so much fun in the shoot that I think people sort of embrace that, but everyone does have such a different reaction, and their bodies are so different, right? But putting my work out there, I really wanted to give more diversity, sort of within my art, and just see a different kind of body naked in a tub. And it was hard when, body shaming, of course, is so incredibly prevalent. And for what? You can see how, in these situations, of course, it doesn't make it easy. First of all, you're naked. Second of all, you're feeling like your body isn't perfectly up to its expectations. But, I've really sort of told myself to be more aware of it. And, when people reach out, we have situations where someone will say, oh, I don't really want, to do this, or maybe you shouldn't have contacted me because I'm bigger. And I'm like, I've really learned my lesson that it's important for me to sort of be cognizant of that, and also be sort of aware of how other people might perceive or feel when I'm interested in working with them, because it's really about growth and about comfort, and that really speaks to my art. There's definitely a long way to go, but I want to celebrate every type of body out there without question.
I think that's so important what you're doing, especially we're moving Gray around. So David's working on getting a close-up of us all. David, you're working your magic.
Trying to make it happen. Is that a little better?
Yeah, I think that's better. There we go. There we go. Yeah, we usually do this during rehearsal, but we do tweaks along the way in the show. But, David's an artist also, so you can see that we're all a work in progress.
Oh,
it looks great.
absolutely.
David, you did a great job. Great job. So what is it like for you working with hearing subjects and hearing producers? How does that work, instead of giving adjustments like, oh, can you raise your chin a little bit? Or, hey, can you move the light over here? How do you work as a deaf photographer?
Yeah, again, everything in my life is one big variable in so many ways. It's different with every moment. I can speak, but I definitely also am very aware that I have a deaf voice. So like many deaf people do, I don't want to speak for other deaf people, but myself, I do very much have a deaf voice. So I don't actually mind using my deaf voice and saying, hey, move over to the left or to the right. I would say that that's very basic. So much of what I'm actually doing in the moment with specific subjects and specific sets is, slight movements, but really it's about connecting to the vibe and connecting to the mood of the person, right? You can feel if they're nervous. You can feel if that person is vulnerable, or if I'm needing a little bit more. Some people are very used to being in front of the lens and are very easy for me to just gesture and communicate a movement, because especially if they don't know sign, right? And the point being that if they're not really visual, they can still gesture without words and understand it quite clearly. But overall, my point is, in those situations, I would say my response is quite varying. We do really what makes it work with that individual subject. And I'm incredibly flexible as an artist and as someone behind the camera. And I want to make sure that, while they don't all understand me when I speak, I can use my phone, I can use gesturing. But really with the hearing world in general, I've shot a few subjects. One actually being with Shoshannah on her show This Close, which was on Sundance. And while I was using my camera, obviously you're supposed to be quiet on set, but while I was there on set, I did not know, and someone informed me that my camera had a beep. And so they came over and they said, we recommend that you would buy, I don't know what it's called, some sort of a voice, oh, this is a deaf moment, some form of like a voice signaler. So, but over time, it's really just learning moments as you go. And I think most importantly, you can't really let that sort of bully you out of anything. You have to really just go and learn as you grow. And I think I'm a very open person in general. For me, often, people skills are really what bring me into these moments and have sort of brought me here. So whether a person is deaf or hearing, for sure, I want to connect with them. And I think they're often impacted by my deafness, of course, especially if they've never had any experience with a deaf person. But it's a pleasure to really be able to make them comfortable.
But on the other hand, now, if you're working with a subject who's deaf or who knows sign language, that's is that an easier shorthand for you than to be able to communicate?
Right. Oh, absolutely. So much easier. No question. My people.
But you're a people person, like you said, you are a great communicator, and photography is visual. And so you're working in a visual medium. And like you said, it's just finding that ability to communicate, and it really doesn't matter. Like, I'm sure you could probably do great if you were like filming in Japan and with someone who didn't sign or speak English, because you probably have other alternate ways to communicate that, a hearing American photographer might struggle with. What do you think?
I do think that we use so much physicality and so much gesture. I mean, there are so many poses that I can physically show you with my own body that you can emulate with your own. So I think there's so much power in your body and in movement, and it makes communication so much more easier. And certainly it makes, the other person, if they're sort of shutting down in that moment because it's something that they're not used to, I think it gives them a little bit of space to kind of channel into, this new way. But, honestly, I think you have to find people that you have chemistry with.
I totally agree. We've got some questions in the chat. Lisa G wants to know how the pandemic has affected your work. How has the pandemic affected your work?
Yes. Well, last year was nuts. I still can't complain, because I really did have it so much better than so many people in this world. I was feeling quite angry and really had to check in with myself. There were moments where I was like, okay, get it together, Tate. But as far as work goes, it came to a screeching halt. And I was like, okay. Work was not good for 6 or 7 months. I did maybe 1 or 2 shoots here and there, but I was so nervous and just, I wasn't comfortable with anyone involved. And, I really think that had I not been able to depend on some of my regular customers, I would have been in real trouble. I'm very fortunate that I have bookings coming up and that I have incredible, incredible clients in my life, but it was quite scary. I used that time to kind of check in again with myself. How it all can be creative, how all of us can be. We're creative and crazy like that. We have to check in with ourselves, every 6 months or, maybe more often if we're willing. But truly, I wanted to use as much of the time as possible to really introspect and self-reflect and look back at some of my old work. And, the stars kind of found me in that moment, and astrology found me. It was sort of an exciting time at the same time. I really chose to push myself, and I didn't really do a great job with it, to be honest with you. A lot of my photographer friends were, doing photo shoots on Zoom and all these other amazing things, and I was just not feeling it. But I did one, and it was fun, but I really just I wasn't really in a good place for the creative energy to really be sort of flowing. I was reading a lot. I was really enjoying looking at other people's work. I love people's art. I'm so inspired by so many people. And I love especially finding new artists that I've never seen before, people who are making things that I've never really noticed and aren't really out there. But I think that's a good enough answer.
So you showed me some of the art, because we chatted before the show, and you were putting together some collages and some other things that were not photography related, but really creative. So what other ways have you been finding ways to
Oh,
stay?
definitely. Definitely. I mean, so many different things. I love tearing things from magazines. I've been doing that since I was in high school. Literally, I have just folders and folders of things that I've torn. I mean, it's almost therapeutic for me, just the tearing action and just, I don't know, tearing shit. It seems maybe strange, but it makes me so incredibly happy. And I would save all of these pictures and these images that I really loved and enjoyed. And I thought, well, you know, one day I'll do something with this. And I want to say maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I was working out some of the things that I had, and there were some thematic elements that were showing up. I mean, obviously I have tubs, you know, there's a lot of tub art. I have a mask series as well, and quite a few others that, you know, have come from commissions and other places. But I started doing theme-based collages, and that for me was just another way to craft therapy into my work. And also, you know, I love seeing other people's art and seeing what they go through with it. I mean, working with other people's pieces and collages and out of books and magazines, it takes hours and hours and hours of me being exposed to so much other art out there. And I love it. Magazine collages are just a way to really preserve my own happiness.
I think you brought up a good point that I think a lot of artists will have a time when not a lot is going on, and to reevaluate, to take that time to maybe find other creative outlets, that it's a processing time. And then hopefully now you're going to get booked like crazy, and you're going to be like, yeah, I could really use a day just tearing out magazines in my room again where things are nice and quiet. So
yes, I definitely am so ready to continue my art and my art capades. I really honestly need my naked friends again.
well, you've got some requests here of people want to know. Alina Rosas, Rosas, asks, if I want to be part of the Tub Time series and we're in different states, how does that work?
You know, normally, so often I'll be going to, say, New York City or LA or to another location. And, you know, many people are interested sort of in, you know, their creative cities are very interested in those areas. But there are so many other people that I have just found through my travels and other work that I've booked, whether it's work in, say, family wedding, family photos, or a wedding job. I'm in a lot of various communities that you might not expect, you know, and a lot of work comes out of that. Of course, I have my regular responsibilities, but if you're willing to, you know, pop by Austin, if you're here on vacation, get in touch with me. You know, if we have time and we can work out, it would be great. There really is no specific quota or recipe that I'm trying to fulfill. You know, I would say the calendar of bookings is really sort of around paid commissions, where I'm flying in and doing something else. But, you know, it wouldn't really be smart to do a paid commission for Tub Time, I don't think. But, you know, honestly, I'm just so incredibly thankful for all the good people who are willing to work with me. And I'm very fortunate for all of them. So I would say it all just depends for me.
Follow you on Instagram.
You know? But email me. It's tubtimewithtate@gmail.com. Send me an email and we can try to check in. I can take a look at my schedule. I'm working on getting better at my email.
Let's get Tate fully booked up, you guys. We need to do this. All right, some more questions from Natasha. Wants to know, what was your favorite shoot, location and subject? And she said, hint, Natasha's wedding, LOL.
Oh, I know exactly who's asking this question.
Did you shoot her wedding?
Well, I always hate this question. I did shoot her wedding. I did. I always hate this question. But I mean, my gosh, it's been, I think it's past her 10-year anniversary at this point. Yeah, oh, I hate that question. I probably would say, I would have to say, I had a really great experience that wasn't even really with my own art career, but it was an opportunity to shoot a wedding in Cape Town in South Africa.
Wow.
And it was just incredible. Have you ever been?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Oh, you have to go. I was there 3 years ago, and let me tell you, it was an opportunity of a lifetime. It is so gorgeous. And you know, again, it's always those moments of like, I'm still doing the same kind of work, always. And I love my clients. I love my work. I really, really, really do. But of course, as a creative, I do often think inside, there's so much more that I want to do. And that job really reminded me, like, yeah, maybe my everyday work is actually fabulous. It was a really incredible reminder to realize that so many people put trust and value into what I'm able to provide them. And there's a reverence in that as a photographer within my work that I just find myself very fortunate with it.
You have a follow-up question from Karina Peterson, Pedersen, asking what was the best bathtub you've ever enjoyed shooting in? Do you have a favorite tub that you use?
Ooh, the best one? I would probably, I don't know. I always go to the same one. It's the OG tub, which was my own tub back in the day. And it was when I was living in Louisiana. But, you know, we sold the house and I mean, you know, I always say if I die, you know, and my work becomes like anti-Warhol level, whoever owns that house at that time, oh, they better expect a lot of visitors. A lot of visitors. Get the red robes ready for the museum. I think I probably would say the OG tub. And then there's one in a hotel in New York City that has really just been so wonderful to me. The hotel is fabulous. They know my work. They know what I'm doing. And they have always been incredibly accommodating for my opportunities to be able to shoot. And they've given me the tub for a week. They've, you know, been able to schedule me in there, and I've been able to book quite a lot of people. That unfortunately, that hotel unfortunately had to close down due to COVID. And it breaks my heart because the staff there were so incredibly fabulous and just wonderful, wonderful people. And I am really, really pulling for them to reopen soon because so many people need to experience that tub. I mean, it's a round, beautiful tub and the view is just exceptional. It's just exquisite. And I would say that all of the basic tubs that I've shot in are equally as important, okay? Because honestly, it's, you know, they don't have to be worth a grand. I'm pretty boring in that sense. You know, I like a challenge.
I love that you make the tubs as much part of your art and photography as the subjects themselves. I think that's thinking of the whole picture. And speaking of whole picture,
the whole picture.
Yeah. I think we're all clean here, and I think you know what we need, David.
Yes.
I think it's time for a drink. So I think we need to head to the bar.
Oh, let's go to the bar.
There we go. And here we are.
Oh, I'm ready for a dirty martini. Give me my martini, please. Do we have anything? Oh. Oh, how perfect.
So yeah, we brought you some dinner, some snacks, and yes. And oops, I was trying to pick a French fry.
Oh, pizza. Oh,
and martinis, and we actually gave our interpreter Gray a martini also. So that's it. Because you know, on Hanging with Hilary, we all get to have martinis.
Yes, we love it.
David, you're the best. Thank you so much for being a gracious host to all of us.
Appetizers on me.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Oh, and your wife, Sarah, says that's the Rivington Hotel in New York City, who was so good to you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Thank you, Sarah. Yes, the name of the hotel is, in fact, the hotel on the river. It's such a wonderful and just incredible stuff. I really do hope that they open soon.
Well, she said hopefully, hopefully the pizza and French fries will make you feel better. So until we can celebrate back at the hotel. Oh, and now everyone's asking what's on the pizza. Is it pineapple pizza? Is that your favorite? Do you like pineapple pizza, Tate?
Oh, I forbid pineapple on my pizza. Under no circumstances. I'm one of those people. Absolutely not.
Well.
If anything, pepperoni. That's it. Pepperoni. But if I'm in the mood for like something spicy, I'll add a little bit of jalapenos.
Oh yeah. We're doing pizza next time I'm in Austin, or you're in LA, definitely. But for now, we've got virtual pizza.
Yes.
We've got
and honestly, this is the point where we would compete. right? To find out who has the best pizza. I am ready to go to some pizza places. Let's do it.
Oh my gosh. I know, to have a pizza off. I don't know. You have to realize now, I grew up in Chicago, which kind of has the best pizza. And then I lived in New York for many years, which competes. So I would not put Los Angeles up for best pizza. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh no, honestly, pizza still, and a pizza and once in a blue moon, I will buy one of those 99-cent Totinos. I know it's such a fail, but I will confess, I do it.
Oh, let's see. I was going to see if Gray needed to take a sip of water because he's been going straight here, working.
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Checking in with everyone, making sure everyone's doing well. All right. So now that we're in a bar, we got our pizza, our martinis, our French fries. You were talking before that one of your pandemic hobbies was getting into astrology and horoscopes. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. Astrology and horoscopes has really sort of popped up in my life. If you had told me now, maybe 3 years ago, if you had told me, exactly how much I was going to be interested in it, I would have thought absolutely not. But at some point, I had gone to
Say that again.
Barnes and Noble, the bookstore, and they had just reopened for the first time, and there were all of 2 people in the store, and I was so thrilled because I love books. It's such a grand, happy place for me. Really, it's like Tubs, and then I'd say bookstore is probably my second happy place. So I was thrilled. I raced down to the store, and I was hoping to find 3 or 4 new magazines, and I hadn't even I hadn't bought anything in maybe a month, and COVID was still sort of killing me, and I didn't find anything. Nothing had been restocked since COVID. And so I headed out, but there was a Astro Poets piece there that was essentially a cover that, a magazine and a cover that really blew my mind away. It was gorgeous, and I grabbed it and ran straight to the checkout and didn't even look inside. Honestly, I got in the car, and Sarah was driving. And as I started thumbing through the pages, I found myself really falling into an hour of reading this magazine. And that week was just a moment for me to find astrology and horoscopes. And I ended up finding Astro Woke on Instagram, who is in fact a deaf astrologist. And I remember my fascination seeing Astro Woke and her incredible books that she was recommending. And so I started ordering, and I remember the next day I thought, I wish that there was someone deaf who had offered an astrology class, right? I wanted to really dive in a little bit deeper. And I kid you not, I had thought this first thing in the morning, and I picked up my phone to scroll through Instagram. And the first thing I saw was a notification from Astro Woke that she offers a class. And I was just, the universe, the way that the magic works is just unbelievable. So before I even took the covers off my body, I signed up, and I was thrilled. And I'm so happy to say I was feeling really creative through the whole process. And, through the pandemic, I wasn't really feeling that great about it. Astrology really helped me in a very weird way work on myself and sort of how I perceive things and how I approach situations and how, I may pleasantly or not. I know it's a bit of a spiritual thing, and, it's a little new agey, and, it's a lot of bullshit to a lot of people, but for me, it offers really great benefit. And I think, instead of it just being inspiring, to be able to sort of layer that in, that sort of spirituality, that past, present, and future as an added layer of my work, it just, what sort of dimension is out there waiting for me? It's just, it's magical. I'm really excited to see it.
So now, is that going to work your way into photography, you think? How is that going to manifest through your work?
Honestly, I have no idea yet. But, I wouldn't say that I'm really sure yet. Do you know astrology? Do you know a bit about it?
I'm a Gemini. That's all I know.
Oh, well, listen, Gemini and I are we're both air signs. I am a hardcore Aquarius. So, typically when the sun signs are the same and they're shared elements, essentially, you find that connections are more easy, that sort of chemistry is a little bit more fluid. But one thing about your sun sign is, one thing out of essentially so many other factors, you have a sun, a Jupiter, a Mars, a Neptune, a Venus. You have all of these really incredibly all of these really incredible things that can sort of, mix into your sign. And it's phenomenal. What you can do is actually put all of that information together through a birth chart where you put in the location of your birth, the time, the date, down to the second. And you can see your star chart of exactly where the stars first greeted you on your entrance to the world. And, so many people say, now, this is complete bullshit. But for me, I really have enjoyed the whole process. And I actually have seen a greater improvement in my ability to connect to the world around me. And I would say that it's really given me the same. So I don't know how it's going to manifest in my work. But like I mentioned, the elements, say air, sun, water, right? I think all of those things can fall into categories and comparatively show how we can present ourselves, maybe as, shy or sort of anything. And I think there's a lot really involved with that. So much of it is based on the zodiac and, this really incredible circular chart that is sort of based on constellations. And there's so much geometry and kineticism to it. I'm really excited to consider it.
I'm so interested.
And I would say that, well, ask me again at 4 a.m. in 2 days from now, and maybe I'll know.
What's so interesting, Tate, is that I've been doing a lot of international work and seeing how countries like China and India, that it plays a really big part in other cultures, and how it's interpreted is all really different. So I think I'm going to be super curious to see how that starts showing up in your work, because I could see there's a certain light, there's something that's percolating. I think it's going to come out. What do you think, David?
Oh, definitely. When your hobbies always find a way of getting into your
literally,
work.
yeah, absolutely. I need to know David's opinion. David, what is your sun sign?
Yeah.
I am a cusp. I am on the cusp of Leo Cancer, depending on which website I go to.
Oh, it's a nice mix. But your birthday is actually what specifically?
Oh, July 22nd.
July 22nd.
And
okay, so you're actually a Cancer.
Yeah, I'm on the
Cancer.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, because I know in the stars there's a lot of people who are sort of using their cusp concept because they're interested in the fact that they depend on it, right? But your sort of official or proper identified sign would be that. But again, I mean, the charts are so full of so many different complicated layers. It's so overwhelming. But you definitely have a lot of that sort of air energy. I love it. Cancer energy.
Okay, if it's a good thing. Leo just sounds cool. It's like, I wish, my mom could have waited one more day. I could have been a proper Leo, because, the whole roar.
you always open the show. You open the show in the MGM.
Yeah,
line.
honestly, the lion itself is a huge ego symbol, but I wonder, do you realize that Cancer is all about manipulating and control of the moon? That is so amazing. I mean, to be able to control the moon, they have the hookup for emotions and all sorts of things. And so they're known for a lot of other things, but I'm like, good God, they literally control the moon, which rules everything in our lives. So I don't know, but
that sounds
I
pretty
think
good
you
to me.
sort of get the best of both worlds. Yeah.
I love that. You've got photography, tub time, and astrological readings by Tate. So I think that could be a new side hustle, maybe. All right. So I want to see if anyone in the chat has any last minute questions. Go ahead and pop that up. Make sure that you are following us and hit that like button so we can keep spreading this video long after it's been recorded. You can send this out to your friends. You know what, David, I think we should go back to the set now that everyone had their fill with martinis and pizza. Satisfied? Yes? All right.
Oh, look. Oh, it's gone.
Well, I think that just means we're going to have you back, Tate, because you've been such an incredible guest.
Oh
So
my God, I would love that.
we're not gonna sign you off yet because we have a couple more minutes left with you, even though I could seriously talk with you all day. And so we have to have you back and talk about your book collection. We didn't even talk about your
Oh,
book.
that's what happens when you put two sun signs in the room.
I know that I just want to talk art and photography and pizza with you all day long. I think that's something that we
Oh,
could,
all night. Oh, I could go for that.
oh my gosh. Okay. So any last questions for you? If not, uh let's go ahead and repeat how people can follow you. You're available for commissions if you guys need a phenomenal photographer for your event, for your portrait, for a creative project. What else, Tate? What else can people hire you for?
Oh, honestly, generally, when my photography and my journey has become so much more than just, I would say, one specific niche. But I would say I prioritize when I can commission and paid work. Of course, it's something that I want to promote through the community as much as possible, with my website and my Instagram. I've noticed that my Instagram just, is now getting so many more eyes than some of the other things that, I'm doing. So I like to promote as many artists in our community as possible. So at Tate Photo, be sure to connect with me there. And I would say, another commission is the Tate Tullier photography. I would say that's more of my family, my weddings, more fine arts work, and you can contact me through DM or there, and that is fine. And I do check my email and my DMs as often as I can. Oh, and also, they're typically at 4 a.m. So.
Oh, you'll be getting a call from me 4 a.m. I think that's something that I actually sometimes I get up early.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I have some crazy ideas in the middle of the night as well. Even though we've got a little bit of a time difference, I think that's something that we can.
Always.
Oh my gosh, right? Sometimes it's hard.
And really, with astrology completely aside, I mean, that's just an artist thing, right? I'm sure of that. We're all wild that way. Middle of the night. Yes.
Always. You get ideas or you think of something. The best time is if you wake up and something you've been trying to figure out forever, all of a sudden you get an answer. That's when it's magical. Although I think tub time is probably a good time for that to come up. Showers and tubs is also a good place to think and have creative ideas. Okay, we've got a couple more comments in the chat.
Honestly, I meditate so much in my tub. No question. I have a lot of great ideas in there, and I'm typically with my iPhone making notes. It's great.
Oh yeah, I'm a tub girl, so definitely I'm there with you, right, with tub time. So let's see, you've got comments saying that now we need to have an astrology talk show with you. Somebody, Alina Rosas wants to know, have you ever been to the Poconos?
Oh, that's so much fun.
I know you have more to talk about. Have you been to the Poconos?
The Poconos?
I think that's in New York.
Yeah, I've been. They're beautiful. Gorgeous.
Next we've got.
They're gorgeous. I want to say they're Pennsylvania, Hilary.
Oh my gosh, you're probably right.
I think upstate New York.
Upstate New York?
But I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah,
they're up there, that area.
Up with the pretty trees, all the pretty trees.
All the pretty trees.
Yes, it's gorgeous.
SHI.
And honestly, outside, I did an outside tub series there.
Oh.
What? Seriously? Wow.
That's awesome.
See, there's too much.
Not in the Poconos yet, but well.
Okay, there's people inviting you to come on up. And they're confirming that 4 a.m. is the magical witching hour. So
Yes.
All right, we have more
Yes.
people with us. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up today. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Tate, for hanging with
Oh,
me.
thank you so much for having me. I mean, this is always such an incredible experience, and to have a new platform to be able to put my work out there, it's such a beautiful thing that you've given me. Thank you.
And I want to thank Gray, our interpreter.
Yes, thank you. And thank you so much to David as well.
Thank you. This
Thank
has
you.
been great.
Thank you, Gray, for being an absolute champ and powering through for an hour, which is not
Yes,
easy.
of course. We
And
really appreciate that.
David, thank you again for always for being my co-host and joining us on this ride. So we're going to have you back, Tate, but until then, be well. And we
Amazing.
will see you back for more
I
shows.
would love that.
So
I would
thank
love that. Yes, and I will see you on somewhere on YouTube.
Come on, let's go. Thank you.